What's up, guys? Welcome back. Mr. Cuda 392. Today we're gonna catch you up on the engine mounts. We got the new engine mounts on. Oh, and we're supposed to make our video funny because it's not appealing. Our videos aren't appealing to the younger kids, so we're trying to add some humor to these videos. So our engine mounts, we got a little bit of them cut. We changed over from the solid engine mounts to the rubber ones. Kind of had to cut away a little bit. We cut away a notch on the edge of the engine for the header to fit. We're going to pull out the bearing, pilot bearing. We're going to put the flywheel on. We're going to mount the clutch and the backing plate to the flywheel. And then we will put the bell housing on.
So we tell them where we go.
And then there'll be some measurements after that. So let's get started. All right. So since our last video, we added this bad boy on the back here. That's the perfect measurement to hold up our transmission in the back. And then we'll be able to take the side supports off the engine.
I'm going to drive the car.
And then that'll hold up the back. Okay. Here's our engine mounts.
This is mine. This is mine.
This is the mount that we had to cut, so you can see. Oh, let's see here. You can see right in there. We had to put a notch for the engine there, the block. Notch out that engine mount, and then that guy right there. We also had to notch that for the header.
What is this?
What is that?
A wheel?
That's like a grinding wheel to get rust off metal parts and stuff. Careful, because that'll poke your finger.
It's metal?
It is metal. It's like a brass brush. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to pop this bearing out of here, and we're going to put the new one in. We're going to put the flywheel on.
And what do we got here?
This right here is to support the transmission.
This is my skateboard. Add the engine. It's so go.
Your hand in the way? No. So this goes inside there. And it spreads out. And it's like a hammer.
I'm going to zoom in.
Uh-oh, I think we have a problem here. All right, so the center bearing pulled out of there. We ended up changing over to this larger deal here to get the other part of the bearing out. It's starting to come out, so we'll finish getting this out. Hopefully we can get it on camera, and then we'll tap the new one in. There it is. So we'll leave that on there for now.
I thought it was the whole thing of this.
Nope. It's just the bearing. So here's the new bearing. And that one, we have to get a socket and an extension and whack that thing in there.
Okay.
So we'll take a break for a second while we set up, and then we'll come back once we're ready to go.
Okay.
So this is the new bearing. We're going to use this socket over the bearing to pound on it and to get it to go into that opening there. That's where the transmission shaft goes in through that opening. Kind of keep it centered on the back of the engine. All right? You ready for this? might have to stop in a minute too. Here you go. Come take a look. See what you think. Got bearings in there. Not coming back out. Okay. Next part. This is the flywheel. This mounts to the back of the crankshaft on the engine. Our clutch goes on here and the plate. And this is what transfers the energy from the engine into the transmission. And then the transmission can turn the drive shaft. So this is going to go on the back of the engine here. Like so. Kind of a tight fit. And then I'm going to get some Loctite, put on these bolts, and then we're going to put them in there, and we're going to torque them. So why don't you give me a couple minutes to go get some blue Loctite. Okay, so I'm running these in. I got some blue Loctite. So this stuff you put on the threads, it kind of makes like sort of like a glue. It's like a medium strength glue for the threads once it dries on there. And then what are these teeth for on top of that flywheel? Brendan was just asking me what those teeth are, and I told him. So
I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember? You want me to tell everybody, or do you want to tell everybody?
You tell everyone.
Those teeth on this flywheel are for the starter. So the starter, it'll pop in and it'll engage, and then it'll turn the engine with those teeth right there.
Now I remember. Like on this chair.
Yeah, it'll turn those teeth right there. And that's how you start the engine.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right, so now I'm gonna run these down, and then we're gonna torque them. These things get torqued to 70 foot-pounds, which is kind of high, but I'm gonna do these like in a star pattern here, a little crisscross back and forth, and that way they kind of all get tightened down evenly, and there's no weird load on the flywheel.
Weird load.
Yeah, you don't want it to be crooked. If it's tightened up crooked, then when we're driving down the freeway, you might feel it wobbling.
It does feel like an earthquake. Just kidding, there's no earthquake.
Feels like an earthquake right now?
I'm just shaking the phone.
You remember the size of our engine?
Oh. We gotta take this off.
You trying to get people to unsubscribe?
Maybe. I don't think.
You think they want to hear you humming?
I'm thinking.
Okay. What's this?
I don't know. Oh, we used that.
What's it called?
We used that. I don't remember what it's called.
It's a torque wrench. So you get the bolts tightened up exactly to where they should be. 70 foot-pounds though is kind of a lot. So let's see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's turn the engine. So let me get these kind of run down a little bit, and then we'll kind of do it at a weird angle so that the engine won't turn. So this next part that we're putting on is the clutch and the part that squeezes the clutch. So the clutch is what disengages or engages the transmission from the engine so that we can change the gears. So we don't always want the engine to be turning the transmission. So there's a pedal that we push on the floor, and that pedal pushes these in. So this mounts to the back of the engine. The pedal pushes these fingers in, and that's what makes this plate come away off of this. And so when it's together, it squishes this together. This goes in between the two, and then the engine can turn the transmission. But when the bearing pushes these fingers in, then this comes off of here, and basically the engine can spin without turning the transmission. So what we need to do is we've got this little alignment tool here, and we're going to stick that in the bearing that we put in, and that's going to hold that up there.
And should they subscribe?
Yeah, if you like Mopars, 392 engines, cool Barracudas, then you should subscribe. If you don't, then you should still subscribe. Because Brandon's pretty cool, right? Is that a yes? I could take that. That's a yes. Is that funny for the kids? The kids like that? I don't even know. I don't even know. There is a lock washer on these, but
Lock washer?
yeah, it's a little split washer. If you come up and look at it, you'll be able to see it. It's a little split washer right there. When it tightens down, it grabs onto the metal so it won't unscrew itself. That makes sense?
Yeah, no.
So now I'm going to sandwich this.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense? I'm going to sandwich this in here.
Actually, does it make sense? Oops.
All right, so we've got these all tightened up. Now we're just torquing. These are 35 foot-pounds, so not quite as much as the flywheel, so this will be a little bit easier to do. If I can find the
What does that sound?
fridge. So there's 2.
I bet some people can't hear.
There's 3. 4. 5.
6.
There's 6. All right, that's all of them.
7, 8, 9, 10, 1
So
billion.
now we can pull this out, and the clutch is suspended in there because it's squeezing it. When we have the car done, when I push on the clutch, it's going to push these in, and then that disc in there will be floating in there.
Floating?
Yep, it'll be floating on this. And when it squeezes it, then that's when the engine puts power to the transmission. And when it's not squeezing,
Transmission.
yeah. So you just remember that. When I push on the pedal, it squeezes these fingers and it comes off, and then that disc is floating inside there. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to put the bell housing on, And then the next step will be we have to take a measurement of how much space is inside here from the bell housing. Bell housing on. This is going to be a temporary install. Okay, take a look inside there. You can see the clutch down inside there. So that's pretty much all we wanted to do today. But the next step is this piece right here. So this piece is what pushes on those fingers in there to disengage the clutch. And this will be down inside here. So this pushes on those fingers right there. And it squishes down like that. So when I step on the pedal, it's going to pop out and it's going to push those fingers in there and let the clutch go and then release the clutch. So our next step is we have to measure the gap from these fingers to this lip, and then we have this outside one, and then we have to put this thing on, and then we have to measure from this lip to the top of here and make sure there's enough space between those fingers.
This lip?
This lip here. So basically we need to know what the gap is between this and the fingers, because when we're driving, we don't want this to be touching the fingers. Okay? So that's going to be our next step. We'll figure all that out, what needs to happen. Once we measure that gap and we figure that out, this bell housing, we attach it to here, and then we put it on the back of the engine. And then once that's done, we could put the starter on, we could put the shielding on, we can put the headers on, we can get this thing ready to put inside the
We could put the hood on.
All this will be ready to put inside the car. Okay?
Okay.
What happened? All right, guys. So, it's my little comedian right here. Comedy Central here. We got the, what did we do today? We checked out the engine mounts. We got that little gap cut in there. We checked out our wooden pallet that we built. We've got the flywheel installed. We got that bearing out. That was kind of a pain. Get these things off here. We got that bearing out of there. The new bearing punched in. We got the flywheel on. We got the clutch in there with the pressure plate on the outside. And then we got the bell housing on. We need to take some measurements, put it all together. All right, guys. If you guys like this video, Brendan, what are they supposed to do?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
And we're thinking about to make our own shirt.
Yeah, maybe we'll make some. Brendan wants to make some merch.
And
maybe a sticker or something like that.
Maybe a plushie.
Oh yeah, so he wants to make a barracuda stuffed animal or a stuffy. So,
It's like
all right, guys,
Lightning McQueen.
we gotta go. Bye.
It's like the